What it do, lovers of shitting on LeBron everywhere? It is Friday, June 18th. My name's Shady, and I am drinking a warm beer. RJ, how are you doing today?
Yummy. I'm doing great. I'm just excited. We get to do this podcast for another day. We're pretty blessed.
We're live. We're doing it. We get to talk about our favorite thing with our favorite people. Like, hey, No big deal over here, bro. All's good. Even if I do got this piss warm beer, not too bad. Not too bad.
That's actually gotta be kind of rough.
No, it's a Coors. The mountains are as gray as they've ever been. They're not blue mountains. They're not blue mountains, but I left them here in my convenience cooler that definitely didn't have any ice in it since our last podcast. So this is a remnant of that. I've got a couple cool ones left in there, but this one was warm, and I wanted to get through the gauntlet before we got started here today. So you know how it is.
Well, I myself forgot a drink in general, so there's always that. It could be worse, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you could have no drink at all. At least I got something to wet my whistle.
There you go.
Speaking about wetting the old whistle there, RJ. What's been wetting your whistle in the sports world lately? You got some hot shit for me?
Yeah. So hot shit. Let's talk about some hot garbage. That is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Dude, straight up.
Let me just
garbage city.
This, okay? After halftime, going into halftime in their last game, they were up 26 points.
Oh.
Listen again. They were up 26 points. After halftime, only 2 players on their team scored. Joel Embiid and Seth Curry.
It's crazy, dude.
What? I understand that Ben Simmons is not all-star scorer. He's amazing on defense. Don't get me wrong about that. But this is so bad. And then how do you get blown out? You're up by 26. It's so bad. I don't want to watch them. And I don't want to really root for Trae Young either. But you give me no choice. Like if I'm watching the game, I gotta root for points at some point. Yep. I got to. So people have been trusting the process. I ain't got no trust. No trust, baby. Blow it up.
The process is over, right? The process was the years when they had like Michael Carter Williams, you know what I mean? Nerlens Noel, like when they were taking number 1 picks and they were just able to blow them like candy, which I'm sure the New Orleans Pelicans are about to do with their plethora of picks.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the process. The process is over. The process has landed, and you guys have enough talent to win, and blowing it's only happened like 3 to 5 times in the last 20 years has a comeback like that happen. And like you said, for a comeback like that to happen, it is what it is. But for you to have 2 players score and 1 player is a subpar player in the NBA, like, come on, dude. Come on.
It makes
what else you got? Because I don't even want to talk about it anymore. That shit was disgusting.
So someone else who I'm going to bring up, who's just... I'm baffled by Justin Fields, rookie for the Chicago Bears, is just I really think Andy Dalton should be the starter here. Huh? Then why the hell did they draft you?
I feel like that's a stretch of what happened there, right? It's not like Justin Fields walked in there and was like, you know what? I'm a number 2 behind number 14 for show. I'm pretty sure it was a convincing show that they had to talk him into it, right? It wasn't something that him coming in day one,
doing the media tour.
Seeing Dalton throwing tubs like a champion and being like, oh, I can't even compete with this guy. Like, I don't think that's what happened.
I live in Dallas. I can tell you that this is all a smokescreen, okay? Andy Dalton will start the first half of the first game. He will miraculously get hurt, and then Justin Fields will be in. I watched him in Dallas. There's no way you can tell me he's better than 25% of the league. He was rough. He got benched, basically, for Ben DiNucci. Have you heard about Ben DiNucci before that game?
But your offensive line was your entire team was pretty garbage last year. So I don't want to put that on Dalton.
The Cowboys are trash.
I don't want to put that on Dalton.
Trash. I don't know. We'll see. I have very, very low expectations for Andy Dalton, and I would assume Justin Fields will be starting at least by game 3.
So when I heard that news, initially I was like, okay, wild to me that Justin Fields is like okay with this, right? Like that he even came around is kind of wild, just because he's always felt like such a competitive kid. And so for him to want to sit behind, that guy who was playing at TCU for literally 28 years, like, it's crazy to me that he'd agree to that. But maybe you are right. Maybe it is clear to him that he's like, oh, I do not have the stuff at an NFL level yet, and I don't want to get my ass ripped apart by the greatest athletes in the world quite yet. Let me have some time to figure out how to move in the pocket like someone at the NFL level does, so that he doesn't just get ripped apart. I.e. Joe Burrow. Look at what happened to that guy, because he came in without any sort of support on the offensive line. Exactly. So maybe it's a smart choice. You know what I mean? I'm not a Fields fan, because I'm not a fan of any Ohio State quarterback in the history of ever.
Yeah.
But Troy Smith is still one of my least favorite men of all time. Hey, Troy Smith, I don't know what you're doing. I hope you're doing okay, just because I'm not a bad guy, but I don't like you, and I'll never like you.
I don't like you, guy. You're not that guy, pal.
No, he's not that guy, pal. And I'm not his friend, buddy. I will tell you, I hate Troy Smith just because, Troy Smith, but, JT Barrett, what was up with him being in college for 12 years? How did that even work? Right? Why was he in college for an eternity?
Yeah. Forever.
But is what it is.
Okay, well, that's enough about
OSU
Ohio
quarterbacks.
State and Chicago quarterbacks. So, what's your hot shit?
My hot shit? I got some somber news for fans of women's tennis everywhere. Naomi Osaka, the number 2 women's player in the entire world, she has decided to skip Wimbledon, which is basically tennis's biggest day other than the U.S. Open. The Wimbledon is literally tennis's biggest championship, and she's taking a break. She wants to spend time with friends and family before the Tokyo Olympics, which is great. Do you? This is just very significant news because, A, she's a top 5 player in the world, not playing in the sport's biggest game, which is insane. And women's tennis, to me, is neck and neck with men's tennis as far as entertainment's concerned. I'll watch that shit all day.
Definitely.
I will watch that sport every single match when it's on, just because women play tennis at such an insanely high level. I love it. But she's incredible. If you've ever watched her play a match, she is absolutely bonkers. And she's definitely my favorite tennis player in the field right now. I'll be honest with you. So I was disappointed by hearing this news. But she had also, this is significant because she had also withdrawn from the French Open after receiving fines for skipping some of the interviews during the tournament because she was dealing with some mental health things that she needed to get taken care of. She had been dealing with depression. She had been dealing with a lot of different anxieties, and she needed to take the time to get herself right. And I'm sure this is a continuation of that. And I want to congratulate her. Yes. Not enough athletes do this. Not enough athletes just take time for themselves to get themselves right. And a lot of them end up spiraling because they don't. Look at the Tiger Woodses of the world. You know what I mean? Look at the people who just do this crazy shit off the wall because they let all of this fame and stuff get to them. This is
kudos to her, because what she's doing is really player empowerment, which on a different level, right? The NBA has turned into, you don't completely own us. We have a contracts, but they are negotiable. That's why we negotiate, and that's why we re-up, blah, 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 blah. She is giving the other part of, you know what? If I am a golfer, I don't need to play every tournament. If I'm not ready, I'm not. Why would I go out there if I'm not ready?
Exactly.
Or I can't take these. No one sat on their deathbed be like, oh man, I wish I had more time to spend with my medals that I won. Everyone's like, no, I rather spend time with my children or my friends or my parents, whatever. You know what I mean? And so she's doing that. So you can't hate it. And if you do hate it, you really got to look at why. You gotta fix yourself.
Look at yourself,
if you don't
bro.
Appreciate that.
Look
you really
at yourself, dude. If you don't appreciate mental health at this stage in life, GTFO, dude. Go figure it out. That's how I feel. Mental health has been understated by generations past for so long. It's finally getting to the point where we can all agree, hey, how you feel about things is important, and you need to treat it like it is. And hopefully everybody else does too, and if they don't, they're wrong. That's
I
just
love it.
Where I'm at.
I feel like I can easily transition into my elevated take. So this is all going to flow perfectly. What's your next hot shit?
All right, I'll make it quick just because we're, like you said, we're like water. We're flowing right into your take.
Flowing.
Right into the sky.
Flowing.
So, basically, the basketball gods have frowned upon the shortened season and the accelerated season here because it seems like everybody who I talked about on our last podcast has gotten injured. Everybody who I said was absolutely killing it has broken down like, an old Pontiac G6. It's pretty gross. So, going over the list, I'll make it real quick. Chris Paul, out with COVID, literally the worst case scenario. I guess it's the least painful, but because he'll probably still be out in protocols by the time the West Conference finals start if they make it, which I'm sure they will.
I think
hopefully.
So too.
Ayton, obviously, they got Ayton and Booker. Hopefully they can carry the load. They're still young, but I got faith in them. So Chris Paul, out with COVID. Kawhi Leonard, the guy who I was saying was stroking it right now, apparently stroking a little too fast and a little too hard because he has broken his knee. The fear is that it's an ACL injury, but it's looking like he's going to miss the rest of this series at least. And shout out to Playoff Pete, bro. I called you Piss Poor Pete on the last podcast, and you came out and balled out. So
yes, he did.
I don't know if you heard me, bro. I'm sure you didn't. But if you did, I take back what I said about Piss Poor Pete. You did a great job. I won't call you Playoff Pete until you get him to the finals, but right now you are no longer Piss Poor Pete in my mind.
That's crazy because he was texting me. He's like, "Yo, man, Shady."
Oh yeah, you and
I'm
you
surprised
and Paul
that
talking
you
about how I'm whack. I'm sure
for real. Like I wasn't gonna bring it up because I wasn't about to do my boy like that. But
no, I hear you, dude.
I'm glad you came out and said it. Sweet.
Yeah, I gotta. Yay, man. I gotta eat crow when you gotta eat crow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So, other than those two, Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, the two that I had brought up on our last podcast, are absolutely killing it right now. Joel Embiid has missed games and has been questionable lately. He was the only player for Philadelphia last night, which it seems like, or on Wednesday rather. So we'll see if he's able to stay healthy throughout the rest of the season. Anthony Davis obviously got hurt and then not hurt and then hurt again and basically buried the Lakers' chances. James Harden just came back from an injury, but after shooting 1 for 10 from the field with 5 points, his ass might as well have just stayed on the bench. One of the worst performances by a superstar or a semi-superstar I have ever heard of, an MVP caliber player. Like, do you have something to say about that? Because that was one of the grossest things I've ever seen. Shout out to KD for putting the team on his back and still winning that game with one of the greatest playoff performances ever. But what the hell happened to James Harden on that night?
Dude, like I gassed him up in an elevated take, and then he just decided not to play back. He got hurt, and now, like, if you're gonna play like that, you are a good enough player. Who I said you had a high basketball IQ. Coach, just sit my ass down. I ain't got it today. I ain't got it. Put somebody else out there who ain't gonna be a liability.
100%, and he still played over. I'm pretty sure he still played damn near 40 minutes, and he went 1 for 10 with 5 points. Like, come on. That's
just so bad.
That's wrong. It really is. It was bad. It was disgusting. But anyway. James Harden, obviously, he played like garbage. Kyrie Irving missed Game 5. He will not play Game 6. Or didn't play in Game 6. Didn't even travel with the team. Mike Conley missed Game 5 with a hamstring injury, and Donovan Mitchell has always been missing games and shit. It's just been a nightmare in the NBA. And listen, you know, you've been here. You've been listening to me with your ears about how I'm finally starting to come around to your LeBron shit. I agree. He's been a little baby. He's the most dramatic basketball player in the league, one of the top ones for sure. And I don't think he's the greatest. I don't think he's in the top, I don't think he's in the top 3. But I will tell you that I 1,000% agree with him on this short season thing. Like, right before he said anything, I was like, people get hurt when it's not, when they have time to recoup and recover and have all this time, and we're just seeing it right now. Like, I completely agree with them on that shit. Honestly, I do.
Okay, so I agree. It was a short season. I was happy about it because it just felt like basketball after basketball after basketball. I kind of love that, but I get it for players' injuries and stuff. LeBron was right. What I will say about bashing LeBron on this, if you read his tweet that he tweeted out about, like, he literally says, "You should have listened to me in the first
that was bullshit.
sentence." Like, dude, it's not about you.
It's not about you.
It's not about
you.
You already been out of the playoffs. Why is it always got to be about you?
And I had a feeling this conversation.
Why? Why not just be like, hey, I try to help everybody out here. I guess we'll all learn from mistakes. I feel really bad for all these players. Y'all should have listened to me, man. I told you. I know more than all you guys. I don't like it.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling when I brought this up, this is where the podcast was going to go, and that's why I opened with, "Hey, to all you LeBron haters everywhere," because, dude, I agree with 1,000% with that. It's just like, why do you have to be so righteous? I guess is the biggest problem. Like, why can't you just acknowledge that it was a mistake? Yeah, but he's self-proclaimed King James. Like, correct. The only people who started calling him King James were Nike and his own goddamn brand. Like,
yep.
I don't know. Y'all know how I feel. I won't keep going on about LeBron. I already killed RJ's momentum, but do you have an elevated take for me here today? My man.
It's a little different. So I'm not really worried about a timer, so I'll just start when I'm ready.
All right.
This is kind of an interactive one, so feel free to jump in. I'm going to obviously leave it open for you to jump in at pretty much the end of it, but I'm just going to kind of lay it out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start right now. The Mavericks. I know this is my second rant in probably 2 weeks about the Mavericks, and this really isn't a rant. This is just me gotta process information, okay? I'm gonna lay out what just happened this past week. On Sunday, Donnie Nelson, the president of basketball operations, departed from the team. It seemed to be a Mark Cuban decision. It's been murky on why he left. If he quit, if he was fired, what exactly happened? It was not expected. Luka was unhappy. He's like, it's tough, I was really close with him. That is concerning to me. Then yesterday, it was announced, breaking news, Rick Carlisle, the amazing head coach, left the team. He left the team. Said he's excited to start a new journey somewhere else. So, most of our upper management is just gone. And we have this perennial all-star. So, I'm scared. I'm terrified. But keep Luka at all cost. At all cost. And maybe the Carlisle thing was a Luka. Maybe because it has been publicly known and shown on TV, Luka and Carlisle going at it time and time again. I'm also scared that maybe Porzingis and Carlisle obviously do not get along. They don't even try to get along. So maybe this was maybe it was like, hey, we gotta get rid of Porzingis, and they're like, no. Then there was an article that came out that a guy within the Mavericks organization, he's a French-Canadian pro gambler. He has been hired by the Mavs in 2018, and his contract is up at the end of this year. So the beginning of next season, he needs to renew his contract. But apparently Mark Cuban gave him a whole bunch of power. And there was like a power struggle because he would have input on starting lineups. Like Cuban would ask him, like, hey, so this guy would give his opinion to Carlisle, and Carlisle would be like, well, do I do what I think's right, or do I have to listen to my boss? But listen to this guy because my boss wants me to listen to that guy. It's confusing. I don't want to get into that. Carlisle's gone. Okay, you have Luka. You have the finals. The next. I don't know. You got Luka. You got to win 3 championships with Luka. You got to do it. You got to build a team around him. But what do you need? You need a GM. I'm going to let you figure that out. I don't know candidates, right? Hopefully the guy from the Raptors. Wouldn't that be awesome? Second. I'm excited about one coach and one coach only. And this is where I'll bring it around, and you can join me after this. Becky Hammonds would be perfect for Luka. She has been studying underneath Pop. She has had practice. She had been a head coach for several games, I think 2 games total, because Pop got ejected, okay? She is ready. She's already interviewing with other teams. It's not a matter of if she's going to get a job. It is when. And it would be must-see TV seeing her be the head coach of the next perennial all-star. What do you think?
That was quite the take. I agree with you on everything else, right? Like, everything else about Carlisle leaving sucks. The fact that they let go of the president, that's the thing, though, that was frustrating, is, I agreed with the decision to let go of Donnie. Like, I agreed with that choice. Like, whether or not he's
Same.
bringing in this French gambler to plant seeds or whatever, and Carlisle felt like he was losing power, is what it is. At this point, it's all speculation, right? We're not in those.
Yeah.
We're not behind
Correct.
those doors. We're not on the court. We don't know what's going on. All I know is we've talked about on our podcast a few times now. I respect the hell out of Rick Carlisle. So seeing that news was devastating to me. To see that Luka was pissed that Donnie got let go, I mean, it is what it is.
Take it or leave it.
You know what I mean? Like, he recruited him. Exactly. So, of course, he's going to be upset. I'm not worried about it. Here's my problem with bringing in Becky Hammon. And, frankly, I love it. I love the idea. Like you said, she's been learning under Pop. She is going to bring something to that team that no other organization has. And that's such fresh eyes with a perspective that no other NBA team has ever truly gotten, right? And she was coached by the best coach of the last era, right? She
Agreed.
the era that, I mean, and obviously he's still coaching, so I don't want to say, but the era that Pop existed for me really ended with Phil Jackson at in the 2000s. Phil Jackson obviously went from the Bulls, ended up at the Lakers, and then made his name known. Those were the two best coaches of that era that I think starts around 2000, right? Phil Jackson and Popovich, obviously. But he was like the older age. Now it was really like Steve Kerr was out there. Shit, yeah. Monty Williams is making his name known in the league right now. Great coaches are far and few between in the NBA, and that's just a fact. Like, even that's one of the hardest jobs in the world right now, is to be a great coach. She already tutored under one of the best coaches of all time. She sees the game from a perspective that literally no other candidate does. And Dallas doesn't play like every other team because they have so many players who don't play like the rest of the league. So I love that. My biggest problem with bringing in Becky is because she's like, I'm afraid Luka is gonna just try to flirt with her like he flirts with every single female referee on the court. Like, because you can't tell me every single game he's out there, he's not trying to lay the Mac down on every single referee who's out there. He's got to respect her.
He does.
And if he ends up respecting Becky, I think you're right. I think she could be a great pickup for that squad.
I think Becky's already earned everyone in the league's
Oh, well,
respect.
damn, she absolutely should have, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, one thing about Becky is, like, I really meant when I said, like, if not, it's not if, it's when. Because she's already interviewing for other jobs, and how many other assistant coaches do you know by name that have never had a head coaching position, right? And yeah, she's a female, so that got her out in the U-verse, right? But even Tim Duncan was like, yeah, no, she's a great coach. Like, she will be an amazing head coach.
Her rise reminds me very similarly to Nick Nurse's rise.
Okay.
Like, the way that Nick Nurse made his name known, I think Becky Hammon is very similar to Nick Nurse in their, like, path to the top. And I think that she's going to kill it, and I hope she gets the opportunity to do so.
And I
hope it's with the Mavs, because I want to cheer for that team. I want to cheer for your team, bro. You've been joining every single one of my my trains. I want to jump on one of yours.
Well, I think the Mavs, Mark Cuban, he's the perfect GM and perfect owner to have Becky. He is going to push the publicity out every game. Like, you know how they have, like, coming up tonight on TNT, it'll have, like, a picture of Luka and a picture of Kevin Durant, right? It'll be a picture of Becky. You know what I mean? Like, she is going to be a star. Yeah, and I'm not saying she wants to be a star, right? But what I'm saying is the publicity, it's the right team. The amount of the watchability of it, of her being on the Mavs with Luka and with Mark Cuban, it is going to be fun to watch. And I think it's going to give me some championships. And I'm all about championships.
I would love to see that, man. I would love to see that team go and win a chip. But all right, dude.
And then we'll
you get all of your Dallas Mavericks pain off your chest now that you've lost your legendary head coach.
I'm actually pretty excited. Like I said, I'm gonna miss Carlisle. I really will. I hope he pick a team. That team could probably fire their coach and hire him, and he's an upgrade everywhere. So like. Yeah, blows my mind, but
here's where I'm at.
Change is needed.
Here's where I'm at. What if Mark Cuban specifically let go of Donnie because he's been talking to Masai Ujiri up in Toronto.
Like I said, that's the only GM
What
name
if
I
he
know.
let go? What if he let go of Donnie and was
Danny.
like, "Hey, Masai, come down here. Come get us a player who's not named Kristaps Porzingis, please."
Danny Ainge would
Please.
be interesting. It'd be I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. It scares me. This is terrifying. You lose a GM and a coach, so how do you hire your coach before your GM? When I know I want Becky, but I don't know who I want for GM. I don't know, but I digress. Shady, I'm sure you have a take that is going to elevate me.
I do.
I can't wait. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. I need you to distract me from the Mavs while this all gets sorted out in the next few weeks. Your time,
Sounds good.
It starts now.
Now, while I will distract you from the Mavericks, I unfortunately cannot tell you that I will be taking us away from the NBA because I absolutely will not. As you all know, I've been going through a bunch of catharses lately. I've already shed my skin on LeBron and talking about how, you know what, it's over. And here's another one that I'm just going to have to come to terms with as I grow older and need to stop sticking up for people who just don't goddamn deserve it. I am here to boldly tell you that the most overrated player of our lifetime, Mr. RJ, is Ben Simmons. I have stuck up for him for so long and have tried to because I'm such a defensive-oriented guy. I want to love him with all my heart and soul. He has same as LeBron, he has all of the credentials that you need to be the best point guard of all time. And he's not even close. He's not even close. I mean, for a dude who was straight up the number one pick of the 2016 draft, one of the guys who ended the process that you brought up earlier, what has he done? Was he one of those two players that you mentioned scored in the second half of that game when they gave up a 26-point lead? No, he was not. And a lot of people want to talk with him like he's on the same tier as Joel Embiid. He's not even close. We talk about him like he's a top 5 point guard. We talk about him like he needs to be an all NBA player every year. He's got so much potential. He's going to be incredible. Let me read you his stats since he came into the league, okay? In 2017, he averaged 15.8 points, 8.1 rebounds, 8.2 assists. That's an insane first season, okay? And that wasn't technically his first season because he was hurt the entirety of his first real season. So he came in a year after he was hurt, didn't even bring any value in the team the year he was drafted, came in and, got you 16, 8, and 8. That's pretty great. Okay, second year. 16.9, got a little better on the points. Okay, great. Rebounds, 8.8, that's even better. But assists, 7.7. Okay. Still has an average double-double through 3 years in the league. But he got a little better. He's improving. Maybe, we can figure it out here. 2019, 16.4 points, lower. 7.08 rebounds, lower. 8 assists, virtually the exact same. And he played 22 less games. And that's my biggest problem with him. He hasn't played over 60 games in 3 years. So what does he bring into your team as your second star? As the dude who's supposed to lead you to the promised land? Does he play lockdown defense? Yeah. But you got a kid named Matisse Thybulle who plays pretty lockdown defense at the exact same position right behind him. And then this year, just to top it off, the worst of them all. 14.3 points, 7.2 rebounds, 6.9 assists, all career worse. All career worse. In his 5th year in the league. At that point, it's over. You get 5 years, and if you have not figured this shit out by this time, you are not ever going to be a superstar. And I am here to tell you today, Ben Simmons is never going to be a superstar. I'm done sticking up for him. He's great on defense, but that's all he's ever going to be. Get rid of him. He's made 5 threes in his entire career. He's averaged a 3 a year. And that's including playoffs. Mm-hmm. He's made 3 in the regular season and 2 in the playoffs in his career. Okay. I'm telling you these stats, and it's almost hard to tell because the way everybody talks about this kid.
I was sitting there and I was waiting to hear this year's stats. and that was surprising. I will say that. What I would like to bring it back to, do I disagree with you? No. I agree. I'm not as passionate about it. The thing that I feel passionate about is he was hyped up. Do you remember Zion when he came out of college?
LSU. Yeah,
right?
dude.
When he was in college, there was the same talk we had about Zion. This guy is going to take over the league. This guy is going to be the next LeBron James. No. And I don't know if I want to blame Ben Simmons for that. Because he never was a great shooter at LSU. It was just, this dude is from Australia, I believe, and is just a physical specimen. He is like LeBron James in the fact of, they just don't make people. They don't make human beings like this. Right. And I think that was kind of unfair. Like, he didn't ask for any of that. He never claimed to be some mega superstar. Is he going to take the contracts? Yes. So, if you want to say he's overhyped, I believe that's what you said, one of the most overhyped people.
Overrated. One of the most...
Yep, overrated, I'll
arguably,
give you that.
Oh, the most overrated NBA player of our lifetime, dude. Who can you think that was ultimately more overrated than him?
I mean, I'm just going to say, the people are going to say our draft bust, like Darko. But, I mean...
Yeah, but they weren't... He didn't go number 1.
Darko went number 3, I think.
I want to say he was 2. But yeah, either way.
He was a top 5 pick. Agreed.
Yeah, Anthony Bennett was number 1, but he did not have the hype that Ben Simmons had. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like he, I think when I think overrated too, I don't necessarily think busts, because busts are not rated at all. They are predicted, right? Busts do not get rated as who they are in the league. They get rated at who they could be. Ben Simmons, for the last 5 years that he's been in this league, every preseason analyst says that, oh, he's going to be the best point guard in the league. Oh, he's gonna be an all-star, all-NBA player, like, no doubt about it. He's figured it out. Look at these videos that they're posting on TikTok of him stroking J's from 3. Like, he just, every year he seems like he gets more and more overrated, and every year his stats get fucking worse.
Yeah.
They get worse. When the team becomes more and more his, too. They had Jimmy Butler and his stats were better. Like, what does that tell you?
I agree. So, he's overrated. We can agree on that. I don't think he's get him out of the league. I think he has a spot in this league. He is a great complement piece he's the third piece on a team.
Dude's a backup point guard.
Third piece.
Dude's a backup point guard.
I wouldn't say it.
How can you have a point guard that doesn't generate offense?
I wouldn't have him be my point guard. I'd have him be my 2 or 3. But he's not a great shooter, so that's hard.
Exactly. He can't play on the wing because he can't shoot. And even with his high assist totals, which usually max out around 8, he's literally only generating you 24 points a game. He only generates on average if you are playing a team that can play the paint at all, like have anyone who can stand up in the paint at all, he's literally giving you a maximum of 24 points. A point guard needs to be able to generate way more than that. And I just don't think that he, maybe he's not a backup, but he has got to be on a team that straight up doesn't have a point guard, where every other player on their offense is just a stud. Yeah. And I can't think of one, because you look at the teams that have that potential. You know what? Lakers. He could go to the Lakers, get LeBron off the. Get LeBron up. Oh yeah, Clippers would be a money. Yes, you're right. Give him to the Clippers and they'll kill it. But that's 2 teams in the entire league. Like,
what we were talking about is I want him and Kawhi on the same team. 2 top defensive. You know what? Make whatever trade you gotta make, Mavs. Get me Kawhi and Ben Simmons with Luka. Have Luka still bringing the ball up, and Ben Simmons is your 2.
No, Simmons cannot be a 2. He can't shoot. It's literally called the shooting guard for a region. It's called a shooting guard, RJ.
All right, well, then
that's what they call the position.
Luka's too good to not have the ball in his hands.
I disagree. I think Luka can make it happen off of a screen or something. Like I think give Ben Simmons the point. Luka can bring it up sometimes, and then bring in one other stud, and that team would be a godsend. Or just move Ben Simmons to the center, which is what he should fucking be anyway. Make him the best passing center in the league.
He's great in the paint. He's amazing in the paint. I don't know. I feel like we're just saying the same thing. in just different ways. Because we both agree he could be a better player. He's not being used correctly. But I don't blame him. He can't shoot the ball. I'm sure he tries.
Agree with that. He's the one who wants to be a point guard. If he wanted Bryce Brown, Bryce or Bruce, I can't even fucking remember.
Bruce Brown.
He's not even in the league anymore. Bruce Brown tried to run him as a center to play small ball, and his ass got ran out of Philadelphia. Yep. So, like, is it really on the coach, or is it on Ben Simmons for only wanting to play a specific type of basketball and doing it poorly?
Yeah, I didn't see this. If I knew this was your elevated take, I would not have done my news about the 76ers, so we could talk more about them. But no, I need time to digest it, because I feel like I agree with you. It's just hard to write him off completely, but you make a lot of good points.
Yeah. I agree, but that's why he's so overrated, dude, because no one can just cut him off. No one can cut the string. All right, either way. Let's move on. Done with basketball. I will tell you though, I am ready to see your big three go down. Your big three of all time, like you said, go down.
They really might.
It's tied up 3-3. We'll see how it all ends.
That's not shaping up hot. Okay.
No, it's not.
So
but
the next
you got a segment for us? Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here is, in the coming months, we are going to start a fantasy football league. Shady will be in it. I will be in it. We'll have some listeners in it. If you'd like to be in it, please hit us up at elevatedtakes.com. You know, you could hit the link. We can just send out we'll tweet out the Gmail too, so we can get that going. But yeah, we want people in it. And so, Shady is new. He doesn't know nothing. Diddly squat about fantasy football. So what we're going to do is
haven't played since high school, drafted Matt Forte, he got hurt, and then I quit.
We're going to draft 5 players each who we just think are going to end up in the top 10, okay? So you could pick 10 running backs, you could pick 10 quarterbacks, 10 wide receivers, whatever you want. Just 10 players who Shady would think would be in the top 10, and I will have, I've played often. I've played for many years since I was, 13. So over 10 years, almost at 100. And so I will have some good ones, but then I'm going to go and look and see like where Shady's guy is at, and then tell us at the end like where he's currently ranked right now. So
okay, I can do that.
Do you like that or no?
I can give you some names, yeah, for sure. I know football. Okay. I can do this shit.
Yes. Easy. Okay, Shady, I'll give you the first pick.
The first pick?
Yep, you can have the best player in all of fantasy football. Who's he going to take? He's thinking.
My heart wants Aaron Rodgers, but my head is going to take Patrick Mahomes. Okay. I think Patrick Mahomes is probably who I should take, right? In fantasy football. Like that's probably the right call.
God, this is so great. This is so great. I can't wait until we come back at this.
He's got to be he's got to be. Yeah. So Patrick Mahomes, number 1.
Okay. All right. If you can type these out, and then I'll go back and tell you where they were at.
All right, I will.
I'm gonna take Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, okay. Running back, Carlisle.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Who you got next?
All right. Let me type this out here.
So just we took Patty Mahomes number 1, Shady did, and I took Christian McCaffrey number 2.
I think I'm gonna take. Shit, who should I take? I'm gonna take 22 Tennessee Titans. What's his name?
Derrick Henry.
Yes, I will take Derrick Henry.
There you
number
go.
2.
Okay, that's respectable. I will take for my second one. I will take Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. Okay, wide receiver, Minnesota?
Running back, Minnesota.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Oh, so you're starting off with just running back, huh?
Go ahead, Shady.
That does not make me feel comfortable about taking a quarterback with my first pick. I will tell you that right now. Not feeling great.
Okay, go ahead. Your third pick.
Shit, dude. I don't even know. I feel like I should take a running back because I'm already feeling shitty for taking a quarterback with the first pick. Not really confident anymore. Going into it.
Derrick Henry was a good pick. That was a good pick.
Oh yeah, because I took a running back, right? Like,
there you go.
That's what it's about, I guess, at this stage in the game. You know what? Dak's gonna be back in action. I think that line's gonna be shaping up. I'm gonna take Ezekiel Elliott. I think that's who I'm gonna take.
Okay, not an awful pick. The guy I'm picking, he had 6 touchdowns in 1 game last year. Alvin Kamara. I just think that
that's a good one.
They're going to be feeding him. And who's their quarterback? Isn't it Jameis Winston this year?
Jameis Winston or hold up now.
Taysom.
Why are you getting Taysom Hill so much shit? Okay, that's a battle right now. Okay,
well the game Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns was when Taysom Hill was quarterback. So either way, I'm gonna take Alvin Kamara and just hope they run.
That's fair. So in light of that, since you are taking the entirety of the running back market, and I got two decent ones, and my quarterback, I've got a rounder on out here. I'm thinking that Julio Jones is gonna have an absolute monster year because he's got to shove your Alvin Kamara Saints down their throat. So I'm gonna take Julio Jones, number 4.
Okay, not a terrible pick. I'm just gonna take Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs. If you think Patty Mahomes is so good, yeah, I'm just gonna take a wide receiver. I'm
thinking Tyreek Hill is gonna get hit with marijuana charges. I don't think this is. You're taking a real bold take. I don't even think he's gonna play this year.
Dang. Okay. Then who is your last pick?
So I think my last pick, because like I said, I wanted Mahomes. But my heart told me Rodgers. I think that because Rodgers is coming back to Green Bay this year, and he's going to be pissed, I think realistically he's going to cause way too much. This is what my prediction for the Green Bay Packers this year. He's going to come back, play at Green Bay. He's Aaron Rodgers, so he's not going to play like garbage. He's going to make the executives know, like, I'm not winning a Super Bowl, but I'm going to show the rest of the league that I still have everything in me so that you get rid of me and I can go play for a winner. And I'm going to take Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams is going to have a huge year this year.
There you go. Great pick. I thought you were going with Aaron Rodgers. So great pick.
I'm not going to take a backup quarterback. I don't play fantasy football, but I'm not that dumb, right? I'm going to say, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to hand off to Patty Mahomes, and then we're going to have like this dance. No way.
So then I'll just pick a quarterback, and I'm going to pick Josh Allen, who I think is going to be number 1 quarterback this year.
Vote with your heart, for sure.
Okay, would you like to know where your picks
I would love to know where my picks ended up.
Patrick Mahomes. He is ranked number 22 in all players.
Oh, number 1 overall. That doesn't feel great.
No, it does not. Christian McCaffrey is by far in the way obvious number 1.
Okay.
Who was your second pick? Wasn't it Derrick Henry? He's ranked 5th overall.
Okay, decent second pick.
Good pick. And then, I kind of cheated a little bit just because you don't know it. You don't know anything. So Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara are the easy number 2 and number 3. So and running backs are kings. Running backs, if you get 4 great running backs, you're doing amazing. So those are my picks. Who else did you have? The rest of your picks were actually really solid. He's ranked 6th. Good pick.
Who is?
Ezekiel Elliott is ranked 6th. So you picked 5 and 6 and 22. And then you had Devontae Adams, who was ranked 13. And
then Julio Jones.
Where is Julio Jones? He's pretty far down there. You're really high on him. He misses a lot of time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I've had him on my team the last 3 years. He is ranked 38th.
Okay.
So yeah, he's right next to Josh Allen. There you go.
What was Josh?
39.
Okay. And then what was Tyreek Hill? Probably 7th.
Yeah, probably something like that. 11.
11. Okay.
Yeah. So basically,
so your average was definitely higher. I'll give you that.
I can imagine.
I just figured quarterbacks are so important. I mean, they get so many points by just touching the ball every.
The thing is that they are important, but the differential between Patrick Mahomes and who is a very bad, let's just say Andy Dalton starts. Let's just say Andy Dalton starts every single game. Okay, so like for a player, okay, the differential between Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes is like this much. The differential between Christian McCaffrey and Swift, what's his name from the Lions? I'll just do 2 Lions.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift
is so big.
That's fair.
The thing is,
but I
there's
guess
so many quarterbacks.
My concern and why I took a quarterback is because quarterbacks don't get hurt at all compared to running backs. I think that was on my mind a lot too. Where I feel like Christian McCaffrey went down last year. Like I feel like running backs get hurt constantly, and so that worried me a bit when I was making my picks.
No, makes sense. Basically what people do is they just load up on skilled positions, and then like I'd say round 7 to 11 is when the quarterbacks start going. But I'm not gonna say you're crazy, okay? Because happens in probably every draft. Someone will take Patrick Mahomes in the first or second round because they think it's worthwhile. But then if you look at the numbers at the end of the year, it wasn't. It would have been better for them to take a healthy running back or a healthy quarterback, even if it was a subpar healthy running back. It would have been better to take DeAndre Swift
because it's a running back.
Just because of the position.
He's going to get the ball in the red zone.
Yep. That's
interesting.
That's really all
well, good. I'm very glad we did this before we did a fantasy football draft because now I know. I know. Although I guess I know my player analysis is right? Because I was like, oh, Derrick Henry got to go.
Yep.
Like, let's do it.
And it's not like I gave you a lot of prep time for this too, right? So you're just kind of had to go with
literally
stars.
had no idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I liked it. It was quite a bit of fun.
That was sweet. That we did that.
Hey, check out the Twitter. Elevated Takes at Elevated Takes. The YouTube, like and subscribe. You're already here. I know it. If you're listening on the podcast, on Spotify or anything, thank you. We love it. Come check us out on the YouTube. And check out the website, elevatedtakes.com. Shady, go ahead and close us out.
All right. Hey, if life to you is like a warm beer right now, pick yourself up because you deserve it. You deserve to be happy, and if you're not, then try to find something that is, and if you can't, then reach out to us, and we'll try to give you a reason, because we love to talk to
we do.
everybody about anything and everything, and if you don't think that your voice is being heard, we would absolutely love to hear about it, because even if your take isn't elevated, that doesn't mean it's not important. Thank you all for listening in. I don't think you really realize how much RJ and I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great night.
Deuces.